Hey there everybody, I am Crunchy Scott and I am so excited to bring you this video because it has been a year in the making. This video is for all of you who got a poinsettia for Christmas and now you're thinking, can I keep this thing alive for the next year? And even more importantly, can I get it to rebloom or recolor during the holiday season of next year? So in this box is the poinsettia that I got in December of 2019. And I do mean 2019, not 2020. It was a beautiful cream colored poinsettia that really looked good in my house that year and I loved it, so that when January of 2020 rolled around, I thought, you know what? I am gonna keep this poinsettia alive all year long. And I had a lot of confidence in myself because actually one of the more popular videos on my channel is a summer poinsettia guide. In that video, I talk about how you can care for your poinsettia during the summer, and then when the fall rolls around, how you can get it to rebloom or recolor during the holiday season. So I thought, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do this. But it has been 8 years since I did that video, and I've only done it once or twice since then. So maybe I should check out YouTube and see if there are any better tips or more tips. I'll say more tips on there. Not that mine weren't good. I definitely want you to check out the video that I'm gonna post below. But I did take a quick scan of YouTube and I found a really good guide. I was so attracted to this new video and these new techniques because the poinsettia expert really laid it out super simply. What he said was that you need to think about caring for your poinsettias during holidays. And I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about Easter, the 4th of July, and Labor Day. And that care should get you into the new holiday season like Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, where you can think about getting your poinsettia in a healthy state so that you can get it to rebloom again. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So throughout 2020, on each of those holidays, I took video of myself caring for my poinsettia during each of those time periods to see if I could keep my poinsettia nice and healthy, and the big question, to see if I could get it to rebloom. And that's what's in this box right now, is the poinsettia that I have been caring for and keeping alive for the last year, and I am dying to show it to you. Before I take you on my poinsettia journey, I would really appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. I do fun stuff like this all the time, but mostly you'll find me in my kitchen whipping up recipes that are inspired by things from the 80s. And the recipes are always vegan too, because I am vegan. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you what the poinsettia looks like just now. First, we're going to turn back time, share reference, of course, and show you how we got to this place. And then at the end of the video, I will reveal the poinsettia and you will see for yourself, did this all work? Don't fast forward because this video took a year to make. Watch the whole thing. You'll see my hair change. It is not only Easter, it is haircutting day for my Christmas poinsettia. So you might have seen in my original video, I waited a full 6 months before I gave that poinsettia its first haircut. It was June before I took the scissors to it. That worked out perfectly fine. You can see in the video that poinsettia went on to grow and become a beautiful Christmas poinsettia again. But I really like the idea of doing it now in April, just 4 months after Christmas, because I think it'll keep the plant more compact, especially when I put it outside in my garden later this summer. You can see that this is a cream colored poinsettia, but here is the reason why I love the poinsettia as a spring and summertime plant for your garden. Look at this beautiful dark green. This is one of my favorite colors, actually. I know summer gardens are supposed to be full of color and that kind of thing, but green is a color too, and I just love it. I think this color green just looks so nice in the garden. Okay, what we need to do now is trim 1/3 of the plant. And I always get super nervous doing this. So let's see here. I'm gonna probably be very conservative. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna cut underneath this stem here. Oh! Here we go. Okay, I did it. Oh, I love it. It kills me cutting that off, but I do love it. Okay, so let's go down here and I'm gonna cut another third, probably a little off this stem. You probably can't see it too well. down there. And let's keep on going. Let's do right there. Oh my gosh, that's poor thing. All right, so you can see I'm getting down into the real part of the plant, and I'm gonna cut. Oh, it's losing its final like bracts there. Okay, here we go. Last one, I'll cut it right here. Okay, she's not very pretty now, is she? It's like a bad haircut, sort of, but it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be just fine, I promise. So, Mr. Hops, where do we go from here? Well, the next step is to transplant this into a slightly larger pot. You can see I started off with a small poinsettia, so just a slightly larger pot will do the trick. The other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start acclimating her to the outdoors. No need to do it right now, but we have had one of the warmest winters on record here in the DC area. And I'm talking warm, like I started planting some of my stuff in February and it's just fine here in April. So gonna monitor the weather and maybe she can start spending some days outside in May. And then the next step for this whole process is the 4th of July. So the next time I'll see you guys is when there are fireworks outside. Mr. Hops will probably not be with us because he goes into a bin for the next year. And before you guys comment, I don't think it's weird that a 47-year-old man has a stuffed bunny rabbit. Mr. Hops doesn't think it's weird either. Happy 4th of July, everyone! The fireworks here in Washington, D.C. are expected to start in just a few minutes, so I figured I had enough time to squeeze in step 2 of my new poinsettia guide. Oh gosh, how long is this gonna last? Oh gosh, it's been hot as heck here in the Washington, D.C. area today, although we did have a storm a few minutes ago, which is why my poinsettia is quite wet. There she is, 4th of July, okay. Blow out, hurry up, oh my God. Okay, it's the end, it's the end. Go sparkle, go sparkle. These sparklers are like 10 years old. I can't believe they still work. Okay, let's talk poinsettias, shall we? Since we last spoke, which was Easter, you can tell that I have transplanted it into a new pot, a little bit larger than the other one that she was in. I didn't want to go too big because, again, I'm hoping to use this poinsettia at Christmas time. And she was very small last year, just like a little tabletop thing. And I'm gonna have her on my windowsill again, so I didn't want to go too big with the pot. And also, as you can see, since I put her outside, she is loving her summer vacation. The growth has just been bananas. Now, I will say a couple days ago, I noticed a few spots forming on the leaves. I think you can see there. And then when I went to grab it a few minutes ago, I noticed that it was on a couple of the leaves in the back. They had actually curled up and looked like they're dying. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure it's some sort of fungus. So I think my plan of action will be, since step 2 does include a good trim again, I'm gonna trim away what I can that's damaged or that's diseased, and then I'll treat the rest. You're now about to get 2 holidays for the price of 1. It's obviously Halloween time right now, but I want to go back to Labor Day. And I didn't record Labor Day because it's pretty much a repeat of what we did on the 4th of July. I fertilized this plant and then I pinched it back. I didn't cut it back, I did pinch it back. And then I let it go for about 2 more weeks. That was the beginning of September. And then for about 2 more weeks, she continued to stay outside, continued to soak up all that sunlight. And then about 2 weeks ago, mid-September, I started bringing her in at night and then taking her back outside in the daytime. And that just kind of acclimated her to being back inside. Now, here it is, October 1st. Actually, it's October 2nd. Cheating a little bit because I need a day to decorate for Halloween. So it's October 2nd, and she is now going to live completely inside for the rest of the year and then through next spring when it's warm enough for her to go back outside. The other big thing that's going to happen to this plant tonight is she goes into her complete darkness for about 15 hours a night. That is what you need to do to get this plant to recolor in time for the holidays. So how do you do that? You can put it into a closet, you can put it into the basement. You just have to make sure that it's completely dark for 12 to 15 hours a night. So what I'm gonna do is I have this box, and I'm actually gonna seal this box up with some tape just to make sure none of the cracks are there. And this box is gonna slip right over my poinsettia plant every night at about 5 o'clock and then come back up, I guess around 8 o'clock in the morning, right before I start work. It's gonna go a little bit smoother this year because I'm at home a lot more because I work because of COVID. So what hopefully will happen in the next 8 weeks is this plant will start to recolor, and by the time around Thanksgiving, especially since Thanksgiving is late this time of year, I can pull her out and she'll be a beautiful new Christmas poinsettia. Until then, happy Halloween. Now the big reveal. Did all my care, did all that worry, did all that putting this thing in a box every night for 8 to 10 hours really work? Well, no, it did not. Oh my gosh, you guys, so upsetting. And let me just say that during the month of December of 2020, there was a brief moment when one of the leaves started turning beige, and I was like, oh, this is it. The color is coming just a little late, and it was actually just a dead leaf. So anyways, so I took this out around Thanksgiving time of 2020 to kind of pull it out, and that's when I decided, okay, it's not going to recolor, so I'll just kind of put it out with the other plants and let it celebrate the season, even though it's not like a beautiful beige poinsettia again. And let me say, I do not blame that guide. I think that the new guide is actually really good. I encourage you to watch this guy's video. I'll post it below. Really smart, really succinct. Poinsettias are just really finicky plants. And I promise, every night for 8 to 10 weeks, I put the box over there to make sure there was no video on it and made sure it had good water. I made sure it was in the window with the best light, and still nothing. A couple of things that could have gone wrong. Maybe there was a night that I missed. I just can't remember, but I feel like I was really religious about it. And then I will say the window that this is in front of, that I put this poinsettia in front of, it's pretty drafty, and poinsettias do not like drafts, but it is the best window in my house for plants. And we have had a range of temperatures in the DC area from November and December of 2020. I mean, there were 75-degree days and there were 22-degree days. So maybe it didn't like all that temperature variation. I just don't know. The one thing that I do know is I still love poinsettias. I really love poinsettias. I think they're hardy. I think they're beautiful. I love that they're kind of, finicky, that they kind of have a little attitude. And of course, like I said in the previous videos, I love these things in the summer garden. That bright green color in your summer garden just, to me, looks really awesome. And I love it when people come over and they're like, is that a poinsettia plant in your garden? And I always say yes, and I've kept it alive since Christmas. So anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you've got some poinsettia tips, please let me know. Put them in the comments down below. Otherwise, I really want you to have a wonderful 2021. And here's to just a new era, a new chapter of everything. Definitely a new chapter for my poinsettia.